Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that one of our admin received, and the translation, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story as anonymous? It's not like I am mad. No, I'm not mad at all, but I know what I saw at the time when I was staying at Protea Glen, extension 29. Then what I saw, even when I told my boyfriend, he thought that I was running mad. Maybe there was a time when I was even losing my mind, but that is what happens when you see things that you are not supposed to see. When you see a TOKOLOSHE, and people will never believe that you have seen such a thing. I'm not mad, I'm not hallucinating. I was just a poor young woman who wanted peace of mind, but here instead I ended up renting in a yard that was full of demons, where witches used to come and they used to hold their meetings at that place where I was staying. It was a yard that was filled with the kingdom of darkness. You can call me Mimi, not your real name. I am 27 years old. I came to Johannesburg from Kiani looking for a better life, and then I got a job at a beauty salon by Jabulani Mall. It was not paying much, but at least I could afford my own back room, and I stopped moving from one place to another. There was even a time when life was so difficult. This was before I started going to church. So since I could not afford to have my own room, all that I could do was to stay with one man, and then I would move on to the next guy. That is how I ended up at this house in Protea Glen. When I first moved in, this was after another guy whom I was dating had told me that there was a nice place that he had found accommodation for me, so he was going to assist me with half of the rental, and then I would pay some of the rental as well as also paying some groceries for me. So it was a little bit better. I would be able to save some money and continue with my education. When I started staying there, like the place, it was really nice. The yard looked decent, the walls were high enough, and I felt secure because I'm someone that is always scared of getting mugged, even a thug entering into my room and stealing some stuff from me. I liked the fact that the landlord was someone that was feared even in the community. The rooms had tiles, prepared electricity, and the rent, as I told you, me and my boyfriend, we were paying half, even though he was staying with his other girlfriend in another location, and the rent, it was too cheap for Soweto. The landlord was an old man whom I am going to name Malume Joe. He was someone that was always walking around with a Bible in his car, always greeting everyone. He was a strict person. He told me that if I wanted to stay at his house, then his rent, when he wants it, there should be no stories at all. The day that we had agreed upon paying the rent, that is the day that he wanted his money. He even said, if you do not give me my money in time, girl, I will remove all of your clothes and all of your stuff from my room, and then you will sleep outside. I am doing this because this is my business. So this man was very strict. He always played gospel songs, those old gospel songs. Even on his phone, he always had those old gospel songs as his ringing tone. I thought that this was a safe place, and I started to bring myself closer and closer to God each and every time when I would see him washing his car, as he will be busy playing his old gospel music. At least the place where I was staying, the owner, he was a God-fearing person. I was so wrong, like I was really wrong to think that this man, he was someone that feared the Lord. This one, I think that he is a grandmaster of witchcraft. With everything that I saw at his house, it was just mind-boggling. The first warning came 2 weeks after I had moved in. I met Usisi Lungi, who was 5 months pregnant. She stayed in this other room that was just next to mine. She was someone that was happy. She was always playing her music. She loved jazz music. And then one night at around 2 a.m., I heard her crying, like she was crying a lot, not the normal heartbreak kind of cry, but this one, it was pain. The woman was in pain. She was screaming a lot. I opened my curtain and I looked outside. I saw Lungi as she was being rushed to the car. She was holding her stomach. I swear, even though since it was at night, but I saw blood that was flowing on her thighs. Later, I found out that she had a miscarriage. And then when I spoke with him, she said she saw a little bird that flew through the window into her room. That was when she started to feel so much pain. She said the day before the miscarriage, she also saw a short man with red eyes that was sleeping with her. And when she woke up in her dreams, this TOKOLOSHE was so angry and said, "You think you are clever, ne?" And then it started eating at her private parts until there was blood that was coming out. I did not even know what to say when she told me about that scary dream. That was the first time ever that I told myself that I have to go to church. And yes, I did went to church at that time. Then there was another warning. This was like the second warning. 3 weeks later, there was another tenant, a newly couple that had recently started staying together. Same story. The wife, when they moved in, she was 2 months pregnant, and after, when she was 3 months pregnant, she started complaining about having weird dreams. She would see a dwarf of a man climbing on top of her and dancing on her stomach and trying to suffocate the baby. And then she had a miscarriage again. This was the second miscarriage at the same house. And then that was when I started to think that maybe it was the neighbors. As for me, I started to watch Umalume Joe carefully. Then came the night when I saw it. This was after I had given my life to Christ. I still remember that it was on a Friday night. I came back late from work at around 10 p.m. I was cooking noodles and ironing my work t-shirt. Then suddenly my iron switched off, load shedding. I did not mind. I then lit a candle, but then something ran across the roof as if it was a little human being, like tap, 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 as that person was running on the roof. And I knew it was not a cat. This was like a little human being, like a small child. Then there was silence. Then I heard that the little child that was walking on top of my roof, it had jumped and was walking on the passage. And I opened the curtain. Oh, Brother Nash, what I saw on that day, it was a short creature. This creature, it was black as if it was made out of black charcoal. I did not see its neck, just a big head and one eye glowing in the middle of its head. And then it started walking around as if it was carrying something. It was like blood that was inside of a plastic bag. I nearly screamed. I ran to my bed and then I opened my Bible on my phone. The way that my phone was behaving on that night, I would open Bible app on my phone and then my phone will just freeze and then I will have to restart it again. That is what I saw. In the morning, I found ashes and crushed eggshells in front of my room mixed with coarse salt, like someone had done the rituals. I told this other neighbor, Standi, who had been suspicious of everything that was happening, and she was like, the same thing also happened to her. So this man, who was the owner of that house, that same weekend came back driving a new Toyota Quantum. No one knows how he was getting his money. He does not work, he has no pension, but each and every month he always buy fresh new clothes, groceries, full trolley, cold drinks, crates in the kitchen. He even have young slay queens each and every month and that comes. So later on, I found out that the place where I was staying, there were 10 women that had 10 miscarriages. And that was when I just told myself to look for another place. I even told the pastor, who encouraged me to look for another place. That is exactly what happened to me. And when I told my boyfriend, he was like, there is no such thing like that. So each and every time when I would speak with him, and when he would tell me that a Tokoloshi does not exist, when I would try to tell him that those things, they exist, it will make me to get so mad, which made him to think that I was running mad, until he dumped me. But I know what I saw. Tokoloshis, they do exist. Yo, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to us by one of our sister. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.